What is up, Team Happy and Fit? Happy Tuesday. I hope you all are doing well. It's so fun to be with you. I'm just feeling super inspired by everyone just sharing their journey. Like, I've just been thinking about, by staying silent, how does that benefit? Like, if I'm going to annoy someone for a day, like, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Where it's just like you have something to share. And I was doing a one-on-one today with Hailey and Caitlin, and it was super eye-opening because she said today, she said she's about to finish Barb Lens, and she said that she felt selfish for getting started. And I was like, oh, okay, like, and she kept sharing her story. And she actually shared later on why she felt selfish. And the reason she felt selfish is that she had her daughter, Harper, 8 weeks early. And Harper was in the NICU for a month. And so when Harper got home, she just felt so guilty spending any kind of time away from her. And she felt guilty for doing self-care and being away from Harper. And can you see the difference of I felt selfish to the story? And sometimes when we're sharing social media, we're broad and we don't realize it. Like, this journey has changed my life. But what do you mean? The more specific you can get, the better. Because when Hailey said that, I was just like, that makes more sense to me on why you felt selfish. It wasn't just like mom guilt, but even what does that even mean, right? And so I was just thinking about that of like, how specific can you get with your social media and tell the story? So I walked Hailey through this by simply asking her questions. What has this done for you? Right? And she was just telling me, and we got to the point where she's like, people always said, this is so fun to do this, like this is not what you guys are used to. It's fine. I'm sweating. It's okay. My cheeks are really red right now. You're so cute, and thank you. Yes. Yes. But she said that people would always talk to her about like, you're so skinny, your goals, you don't need to work out. And it always bothered her because working out has made her feel better. And I was like, you get to be an advocate for working out. That's more than weight loss. There are more benefits to working out than just weight loss. Why are we all here? And so that gets to be our story, is that we get to be an advocate for more, an advocate for the other side, that we don't just eat clean for weight loss. We eat clean for health, right? There's more benefits to eating clean than just weight loss. There are more benefits to my community than just getting my workout done. The benefit is that I'm surrounded by like-minded people who inspire me, that build me up. And so it just got me thinking, because Hailey wanted to meet on what her social media should look like because she wants to start sharing. And I said, why do you want to start sharing your social media? And she said, I want to earn an extra income. That's what it got to, right? We've got to be really good at sharing our story. If we're vague, right, it's not as powerful. Anyway, that's just a side note. Welcome to everybody who's new to our team call. It's super fun that you are here. We have a special treat. Kim, I'm going to let you take it over and introduce our speakers. Thanks for joining our call tonight.
Hello, everyone. I am super excited tonight to bring to you two amazing leaders. I'm going to do an interview style with them. I have been tracking new coaches being added to my organization. I have a certain goal that I'm working on, and when Julianne and I meet every Monday, we always talk about certain things, just growing business and setting goals in certain areas, whatever. And the concept of what you focus on, that's where your attention goes, your energy goes. That's what will grow, right? And so I've been really focusing on growing my organization, not just my personal team, but helping my team grow the organization. And when I look at what is growing right now, it is two very specific ladies that always show up in my back office when there's coaches being added to the organization. And that's Steph, and that is Hailey. And so I wanted to take some time tonight and bring them to you and talk to them and do an interview with them about what's happening and what's working in their world. So we're just going to kind of rapid fire some questions, and you ladies are going to hop in whenever. We'll just kind of go with it. All right. So we'll just start with Steph. Okay. Is that good for you, Hailey? Yeah. Okay. We'll start with Steph. I think we go with the seasoned veteran talking on calls, and we'll start with Steph. And just tell us a little bit, like short and sweet, like how'd you get started here? Like where's kind of your before? Can you mute yourself? There you go.
Thank you so much for having me. This is fun and exciting. And I don't consider myself a veteran by any means at all, but I'll take it. So I started coaching. I signed up day one as a coach. And to give you a little bit more background about me is I used to compete in Olympic weightlifting, and that's actually how I met my husband, Dan. And after having kids, I was trying to figure out where I belonged in fitness because I was no longer competing anymore. And so I tried CrossFit and I failed multiple times. And the reason being is because I was just so insecure about myself and comparing myself to other women in that gym. And like, this is how bad it was. Our friends are owners of that gym and we got to go there for free. And like, I still couldn't make myself go there because I was so insecure about myself when like I was probably like one of the strongest girls in the gym. Like I just couldn't do it mentally. And then I finally landed myself in a local kickboxing class, and then I started seeing results in my postpartum journey there. But then our family decided to make the move to the country life, and so I could no longer justify making a 25 plus minute drive back and forth to town for a fitness class. And probably I would say about a year prior to when we moved out to the country, my coach, Kara, had reached out to me and telling me about Beachbody and things like that. And I don't think I responded at that time. But then when I needed it, like a year later, she was the first person that popped into my head. And I remember reaching out, asking her about it. And then kind of just thinking it over for a couple of days. And then when I messaged her back saying that I was ready to join, I was just kind of like, yeah, I think I'm going to sign up as a coach. And so just from day one, I knew I wanted to do this. I just figured if I was already going to be working on my own self-care, I might as well try to inspire other people to do it along with me. So that's my little background in a nutshell.
Absolutely. And that I hear it all the time. And I always chuckle and remind myself of like how you got signed up. Cause like you were the easiest coach sign up for Kara ever. Like, yes, I'm just going to sign up as a coach. Kind of like how I was when Lindsay said, when I reached out to Lindsay and was like, I just want to be a coach. I want to get this for a discount. like they're anomalies, but they happen. Right. And then Kara, like complete opposite of like, I'm just going to get 21-day fix. I don't want a challenge pack. And then a while later, it all works out. Right. But why did you think of Kara when it was time for you to get started? Or why did you think of her?
Honestly, because she's the only person that had ever reached out to me about Beachbody before. I know that local kickboxing class, I know that she was in it for like a little bit. But that's probably the only time that I saw her like face to face. But I really, in my mind, like I had zero other options. Like I didn't even know it was out there. Beachbody was a thing until she had reached out to me. So
Yeah. And you are like so many other people right now. Well, now a lot of people know about us, but like there are still a lot of people who don't even know what Beachbody is. So you have to reach out. You have to talk to people. You have to notice people and then invite them in. Miss Hailey, how did you get here? How did you get started with Beachbody and come to this team?
Alrighty, so it's been about 3 years, and I was postpartum with my second son, and I was struggling with postpartum anxiety, panic attacks, all that stuff. And I obviously knew I needed to change, like all the things, nutrition, sleep. Obviously, my hormones were off, water, rest, and just obviously like my mental health, I needed help. So I started off with the fitness. I just signed up for BOD first. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to try the products. So I tried Shakeology, Energize. Obviously, I love them. So I was like, okay, let's do this. I'll sign up as a discount coach.
Awesome.
And I had no intentions of working the business. I was just like, no, I just want the discount.
just want the discount. I'm just going to hang out here in this really awesome confidence project. I'm just going to plug into the community and just work on self-care. All right. And so what changed for you? Like, why did you all of a sudden decide to start doing something?
Oh, everything. Obviously, like with the panic attacks and the anxiety,
It's really slow for everyone else too.
need that.
Okay.
Oh, can you still hear me?
Getting there. Yep. It was really slow for a bit, but you're good.
Okay. But yeah, I knew I needed it with my anxiety. I plugged into PD first. But yeah, it even just like changing my nutrition, like getting like the excess coffee out of my diet, just like I was like Googling everything on how to get rid of my anxiety and, panic attacks. Cause I thought like I was going to have to live life like that forever. Like it was not a good feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so
when you got started, you got started with on the team and you're getting personal development, like what changed for you? Like, how did you go from being a coach of self or just working on your trying to take care of you as a new mom to all of a sudden wanting to start sharing this with other people? How'd you get into coaching department?
Yep. So I had a lot of people, they're like, what are you doing? You look so good. They were asking. And finally I'm like, okay, because I'm a dental hygienist. So I'm in the healthcare profession. And I was like, okay, I'm already educating people on, nutrition and stuff like that in my profession. And I'm like, okay, why can't I do this too? So I slowly kind of eased into it and slowly started helping the people around me.
Awesome. So it wasn't like strangers on the internet. It was those people 1 degree from you, right? The people you saw coming into your office, your family, your friends, right? Cool.
Yep. My mom signed up right away. She loves everything. Loves Energize.
Awesome. Yes, my mom loves Shakeology and Energize as well. It's like the total mama bond right there. Steph, how did you go from working on yourself? Because you didn't start working the business right away, even though you signed up as a coach right away. So how did you kind of ease into it and get into the coaching piece, adding teammates right away or adding teammates to your team?
I would say it was about the 3rd month that I was signed up. I wouldn't say that I was like hesitant in the beginning. And like I didn't have a lot of fears, but like I was coming from such a high level performance. Like my background was in Olympic weightlifting, and then I was like making this switch to working out into my living room, and like mentally that was something that I had to go through myself. And like that is something that Dan went through just this past, like since January too, because we were both not that it's like not equal, what do you call it, not that they're both not important, but where we were to where we're working out now, but we're in different stages of our life, and like getting results both ways, it's just different mentally for us. And so I started with the 21-day boot camp, and I would say, or that's what I call it, obviously, when I invite people. I started with 21-day fix, and then it was after that program where I saw results, and I'm like, holy crap, like this does work, because I was doing a local kickboxing class. I was like going 5 days a week. I sweated there for like an hour. My nutrition was okay. And then I made this switch to working out at home, and I'm like, the workouts aren't as long. I don't sweat as much, but like I'm seeing just as, if not better results than I was going to this kickboxing class. And so I was kind of like, oh, there's something to this, whether it be like the workouts, the muscle confusion, the nutrition, the Shakeology, because I started with that right away. And so once I completed that program, then I felt like I was able to start inviting other people to do it with me. And so I kind of just had to prove to myself that it was legit. And it was, and it still is. And so, yeah, then I took it from there.
Yeah, absolutely. The best way to have an experience or have a way to invite to something is to do a program, is to have your own experience with something, have something to share that you love or that you have experience with that you can talk with about with other people. Trina just finished the Ultimate Reset. A lot of us are doing the Ultimate Reset. And, you know, she just posted a really awesome post on the team page, and we can maybe share it too. But like, it's really about, if you're stuck, do a program. If you're unsure of what to talk about, start and do a program. Share the journey along the way, which is what both of you are doing. Steph started sharing after she got results from 21 Day Fix. Hailey started talking to people after she started getting results and was really feeling good, and people were noticing that about her, and people will notice that about you guys as well. So getting started, you know, Steph, you said you didn't have a lot of fears with it, but like, everyone has fear when they start something new. Like, you had some mental shifts, some things that you had to change, but like, what were your biggest fears, or are your biggest fears in coaching, and how did you overcome them?
So I would say, I wasn't worried about what everybody would think of me. I was only worried about like a select few people. And like, I always had the support of like, my husband and my family and things like that. But, people that I competed with, and I also went to grad school. I have a master's in exercise science. And so a lot of those people that I went to school with, and then those people that were at the gym, there's just like a select handful of people that were in this fitness circle that I had before. And now I was in a new fitness circle, if that makes sense. And so I didn't really care what everybody thought. I only care what that group of people thought of what I was doing. And
How'd you work through that?
it turns out it was only my perception. It's what I thought they were thinking about me, which is silly because we ended up going to a wedding, and it was to celebrate the marriage of some of those people that we were friends with, that had similar backgrounds to mine. And we went to that wedding, and I was like a little bit nervous because I'm like, what are they going to say? They're going to judge me, blah, blah, blah. And they had like mad respect for what I was doing, and like couldn't have been more proud. And so it was just all in my head. Like, they couldn't have supported me anymore. And so after knowing that, I was just like, phew, okay, like, we're good. But then I would also say, like with Dan, I know for a lot of men, change is hard. And so he's always supported my own personal health and wellness goals. Like, if I wanted to do this, it was yes. If I wanted to do this, it was yes. Like, he's willing to let me do anything if it's going to make me happy. But then it was also hard on him, because he cared about what other people thought. And so, like, we talked about it, and we just had like multiple conversations and a lot of communication. And like, this could be a whole nother call about like getting your spouse on board. But like, he has also come a long way, coming from like caring what other people thought to just last week, he was like blowing up some chick's Instagram because she made a comment on one of my posts. And he's like, he didn't let her have it. Like, he was respectful about it, but he totally stood up for me and in this business. And it was like, that is pretty cool considering like where we started. So
Absolutely. And I saw that post, and I was so proud of him as well. I think I'd maybe have done a happy dance here in my house. But false evidence appearing real, right? Fear is false evidence appearing real. It was all in our head. And most all of us, it's all in our head. Me too. When I have fear on certain areas, or like, I'm not sure what she's going to say, or should I invite that person? I don't really know. Like, that's false evidence appearing real. And you just have to take action. And whether it's a yes or a no, at least you'll know, right? Hailey, what were some of your fears getting started, and how'd you overcome them?
So my biggest fear is kind of the same thing, but posting on social media, because I really wasn't posting on like Facebook or anything anyways. So it was just kind of and like putting myself out there. Rejection, judgment, fears of what other people were going to think. And then the past like few months, I've come to the conclusion that I think I've kind of been scared of success. I know that sounds silly, but like, I don't like being the center of attention. And so just that, I don't know, I was reading a book and I was like, I kind of think this is me. I don't know. And so I don't know. just kind of crazy, but
not crazy at all. It's you figuring out what makes you tick and those kinds of things. So yeah, absolutely. We were just talking about this on my little team call last night. Personal development helps you figure out who you are. And I love that you were doing your PD and figured that about you. And I think it's kind of a female thing of like, in a sense of being afraid of success, but at the same time, it's really empowering to go see someone do it. So what were some of the things that like helped you get past that judgment, that fear of judgment?
Yep. So more PD. I am like huge on my PD. I read books every single day and listen to podcasts, but just digging into that a little bit deeper. I write a journal. I do affirmations every day. But honestly, like I just have to tell myself every day, like we've heard it before, but people are going to judge you no matter what you're doing. So just have to be you and speak, like just be your own voice. And
absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. So both of you have had like crazy blow up success lately. Like there was something that changed in one of you or both of you that you've just ignited. I mean, Steph, you kind of like started blowing up last year, but even right now, like being home and being active and doing what you're doing, like what was it that made that switch in you to say, I'm going to go for a goal or I'm going to start adding to my team? Either one of you.
I would say like my first turning point was in the first time that I attended Summit. So Indy, the first time around, it was just like a huge eye opener to me to be able to see the bigger picture and the bigger vision. And like I said, at first I was like a little skeptical because I had that background of exercise science and Olympic weightlifting. And then I was just kind of thinking Beachbody like within Iowa. And then when I went to Summit, I'm like, this is way bigger than me. Like this is huge. And like just watching other people's transformations and how it's changed and impacted their lives and seeing other coaches and what coaching has done for their lives. Like I didn't know that Beachbody was that big of like a thing. And so it was really eye opening. And it's really unfortunate that we don't get to go to Summit this year. And so if you haven't been, then I highly recommend whenever the next like live in-person summit is going to be, like you need to sign up for that right away. But then like you said, I feel like whenever I have or am granted like large chunks of time, then I can feel my business like propelling forward. And so like last year when we had all of those snow days, it was around like the February time and I was pushing to be in the MM100 like test group. I had like not ample, but I had more time on my hands than I normally did because we had so many snow days in a row. And so I'm like, okay, well, if I'm going to be home, I am sure as shit going to make the most of it. And so I put my time in, and then like, I know you're talking about and right now. And I know it sounds bad, but like, as soon as I knew that all of this stuff was hitting, like we got let out on spring break, we found out we weren't going to Punta Cana. We found out we were going to be home like multiple weeks. And so my mindset like totally shifted into like, okay, I'm going into full coach mode right now. Like I'm going to make a schedule. That's the first thing that I did. I made a daily planner and I time blocked everything. And I'm like, I'm switching gears into full coach mode while also still meeting the demands of my teaching career, because like I still need to fulfill those duties and take care of Gentry and Wyatt. But like not every day am I granted like this opportunity. So rather than like getting sucked into that and like feeding off of all of the negative things that are happening around us, like I am using this time to hopefully project forward. And I'm trying not to feel like guilty about that, because I see a lot of people who are suffering or who are struggling right now. Like a lot of my teacher friends and just people that I work with at school. And then like right now, like I can't say the same. Like it is very odd to me to say that, because like I love teaching and like I've learned that I'm a multi-passionate person, and that's okay to be that way. And so if I can't be in the classroom, then I'm going to do as much as I can outside of the classroom and build here. And so, as like bad as that sounds, I've just been using this time the best of my ability to be able to move forward, and not just me, like taking my coaches with me and helping other people come along. It's been really fun and really exciting to be able to do that.
It's been fun watching you, but it's also not a bad thing. Like, you don't have to say it's a bad thing to say it's like you're using this time wisely. That's smart. Like, you're using the time that's been gifted to you to use to benefit yourself, and you're still helping other people, and you're actually helping more people get healthy than if you were teaching full time. And yet, like Jill says, you're still teaching. It's just a different type of teaching. So
Right.
super proud of you. Wait a
And
bit.
it's kind of like, well, you always wonder like, oh, I wonder what it would look like to be a full-time coach. Or it's like, of course she can do that. She's a full-time coach. That's what she does, like all day long, whatever. We've all thought it. But it's like, once you're actually in it, like things do still come up throughout the day. So you still have to be very purposeful and intentional about like the activities that you're doing, because it's easy to let other things step in or knock you off and things like that. But yeah, it's weird that it's like we're kind of given things. It's not the way that we thought we would be given them. Like if you ever like asked for something in life and then you've been given that thing, it's not what you thought it would look like, but here it is. So
Amen. Yeah, and just because you're a full-time coach doesn't mean you're working 9 to 5 in front of the computer. You're doing just as much as everyone is right now. Hailey, how are you? What was your turning point?
So obviously I'm not working right now either. So it's just been nice to really focus on the business side of things, get like my own schedule too. Kind of the same thing. Like I'm finding so much good in this time because I'm able to be home with my kids. And that's been my why for doing this, because I would love to stay home with my kids. And I wasn't for sure like how this would go, because I've never, like, obviously other than maternity leave, I haven't done this, but it has been so much fun. And it's just nice, like just getting to do what we want to do all day, but then I get to do this on the side too. So, but I was kind of like in a rut for a while too. So I did do the ultimate reset. Kara thought I was kind of crazy for doing that at this time. But no, it was great. And I had my hubby's support doing that. And I feel like he's finally like all on board with things. So that's given me the confidence and belief in myself too. And so I'm just really like being myself and just showing up and making good connections. So
Good connections. Okay, so making good connections, building relationships with people, right? So tell me, like, where are your people coming from? Like, how are you finding them on Instagram? Are you having just direct messages? Like, where are the people coming from that you're adding to your team?
Yeah, it's kind of a mixture, and kind of from Facebook and Instagram stories. I've found like I put what my group, like the name of my group, when it was starting, and then I started putting like a deadline for that. I hadn't really done that before, but I feel like people are like, for one, okay, this is legit. And then for two, I'm curious, what is this? And so like I have people reaching out to me that have ghosted me for like 2 years, like when I was looking back, and they're like, I bought bod like a year ago. I can't stay committed. What's your group about? And so I don't know, it's just awesome. Like all these people, I was so like frustrated for a while because I was getting so many no's and like ghosted all the time. And now like people are literally swarming. Like my inbox has been full. So it's just awesome.
And it's because you've been showing up consistently,
Mm-hmm.
and you've been sharing your story, and you've been vulnerable, and you've been yourself, right?
Yeah.
Just being you. And that's what people are attracted to. So that's awesome. Okay, so Steph, where are your people coming from? If you need a second, that's fine. Kids, we understand.
Oh, sorry, I just had to plug in my phone.
Oh.
So I would say the majority of my people still come from Facebook. Like as much as I try and as much as I focus on growing my Instagram, which it has, but still most of the people come from Facebook. And I think that's because When I started coaching, it started from my own personal account. And so there were already several of those relationships and connections already built on that platform, compared to me starting Instagram from scratch and then building that up and then making connections along the way. So I just feel like the people that I had on Facebook, I was already closer to than a lot of the people that I'm meeting on Instagram right now. But I would still say that it's a combination of both, most coming from Facebook. But I will just like cycle through, like, one day I'll do like posts on Facebook, and then I'll do my stories on Facebook, and then I'll go through my posts on Instagram, and then I'll go through my stories on Instagram, and just kind of like cycling through those 4 things. And then also going to, I know you put in the team page about like the 50 least people that you've been interacting with. And so I'm like, oh crap, I haven't been interacting with those people. And so I'll go through that list of people, and I will, if they're totally not my tribe, just by looking at them, or they look like they're 12 years old, like I'll just unfollow them right away. But if they look like it's like, I could be friends with that person, then I'll kind of blow up their page, and then they actually will stay in that group of 50. Then I can come back to them the next day, and I can just send them like a intro message, or if I want to send them like a light kind of invite or something like that, then I can. So if they look like someone that I could relate to, I will like 5 or 6 of their photos, maybe comment on one if I can relate to it, and then come back the next day and put a message in their inbox. And so then that way I'm also interacting with those people, because obviously if I haven't interacted with them yet, then that's on me. So just trying to reach them before I unfollow them, if that makes sense.
You're making genuine connections with people. Like, you're only commenting if you can really relate to their photos. You're only liking, commenting on people that you would want to be friends with, because isn't that who we want on our team? Like, people that we would be friends with, right? And so that's awesome. Okay. And then the next question I have for you guys is like, are you inviting specifically to challenge groups? Are you inviting straight to the team? Like, what are you inviting to?
So kind of what I did last month was, in April, early in the month, I focused on hitting Success Club like early. And then once I hit Success Club, as soon as I hit it, my focus just turned straight to coaching. And like when it turns straight to coaching, you still have people join as challengers. And so I was inviting to 10 rounds and then hit Success Club. And then I started doing more inviting to coaching. And then I was like, hey, 10 rounds launched really successfully. We should do that again. And then so the end of the month, I'm like, let's run a second loop for 10 rounds. And then so we did. And then when we did that, a lot of the people joined on during the launch as coaches. And so that was awesome. And so now I'm back at the beginning of the month, and now I'm inviting to lift 4, because that's what Dan and I are going to be switching to after we're done with 10 rounds. And then once I hit SC, then I'm going to switch over to mostly talking about coaching, inviting to the business and things like that.
Awesome. Okay. Hailey, what are you inviting to?
So I feel like before I was just inviting to like the challenge groups a little bit more. But now I'm focusing on, I'm talking about, the challenge packs and, what we offer, but then I'm bringing up the team. I feel like in the past I was really nervous to bring up the team, which I don't know why, but I'm just bringing it up right away and giving them that option, because obviously like I signed up for the team, 2 months into my fitness, and it's something I wholeheartedly believe in. So why not share it? So I've just been inviting that way. And I had a friend, I was going to share this. I had a friend, and she is on the front line. She's a nurse, and she had messaged me, and she's like, oh, I'm just really struggling with anxiety and all that stuff. And so I said, well, you need to plug into PD. I didn't even bring up like anything about, what we do. And then she responded, and she's like, so she started the PD. She's been listening to podcasts. She's reading Rachel Hollis, all her books. And then like 2 weeks later, she reached out and she's like, okay, tell me more about what you're doing, because I'm interested. So I'm just like adding value, even if it's like a close friend. I've been just like adding value and not like diving into, like, let's talk about a challenge pack and all that stuff. Like, I'm actually like giving them advice. Or, when I was doing Ultimate Reset, they'd be like, what's that recipe, or what dressing are you using? And so then I just send them that, and just, again, creating that connection.
Connections and relationships,
Mm-hmm.
connections and relationships. Do you hear it over and over again? Building connections and relationships, inviting, adding value, bringing to the team. It's the best way to go. Okay, so let's talk. There's some questions that are popping up in the feed. We'll get to them when we get done with your, got 3 or 4 more questions. So next question I want to skip to on the list is, what does your next 6 months look like? What's your goal that you've got for yourself going forward? Steph, I'll let you go.
Yeah, I'll start.
You got a big smile on your face. Let's hear yours.
What's
the next 6 months look like for you?
So I kind of have it broken down a little bit, but for me, I'd like to see our team Grit and Grace hit 2-star by the end of June. And then hopefully 5-star by the end of the year. I'm really excited for this group of new coaches that some just recently joined and some have been in for just a couple of months. But I feel like they're all kind of in the same like starting point in their journey, in their coaching journey. And so we went through and we just made sure everybody did the team training and the Happy&Fit page. And now this month we're going through the coach mentorship that Julianne had, and we just kind of broke it down. It's already broken down into chapters. So we're just doing like a chapter a week, and I'm just keeping track of where everybody is at in the coach mentorship. And so if that's a tool that you haven't used yet, I highly recommend using it. This is like the first time that I've taken that group of coaches through that with me. And so it's something that I'm going to offer every single month, because like it's fun to do it yourself, but then it's like so fun to get messages from them and hear them doing it too. So I'm really excited to see them thrive as well.
Awesome. All right. What about you, Hailey? Where do you see yourself in the next 6 months?
So I will be Diamond by the end of May, and I would really like to be 2-star by the end of the year. That is my goal.
It's totally possible.
I have a couple new coaches who, it's fun when people actually start wanting to learn more about the business, and I'm feeling more comfortable about, explaining things and getting them into the groups and everything that they need to be in. And we started our own little like Facebook message so we can talk. I can send them videos. And yeah, it's just been really fun.
So you both kind of talked about getting your new coaches started. Like, how are you onboarding people? Steph, you're taking them through the resources together. How are you, is there anything else, or like, how are you getting people started right away?
I would say I use the same language for every single person that I talk to, whether they're like whatever they're signing up for, whether it be a specific program or my ongoing group. I will use the same language with every single person throughout the conversations, because you just never know. And so the last thing that I say to every single person before I send a share cart is I'll say, and lastly, there's 2 ways to join. You can either join as a challenger or you can join as part of the team. And I just say it's free for the first month to join the team, because the $40 fee gets waived. And then I say, and then I pay $17 a month after that, but you get 25% off all products and future purchases plus cheaper shipping. And I just say either one is a good option, because they both are. I said it's just personal preference, but if you see yourself sticking with it for the long haul, then I would recommend the team. And so that way they get the most accountability, they get the most support, they get their products at a cheaper price. And then I always tell them, if you decide that you don't want it, then it can be removed at any time. And then it's my goal, once I get them plugged into our team pages, because if they join as part of the team, then they're going to get their regular welcome email, and then they get a new coach welcome email with all of the team pages already linked there. And so they can click on them and they can choose to add themselves to those group. And then once they get in there and see like what kind of community is, or if they're just browsing around and they're like, hey, maybe I could do this. It's kind of, I leave it up to them. I don't want to take it off the table for anybody because you just never know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, both of you didn't start immediately right away, right? I didn't either. I waited 6 months before I actively started coaching. Haley, how do you get your new people started?
So what I've been doing, I add them into the Team Fit and Fearless page, do their introduction and everything. And then I've been scheduling just like a quick one-on-one call, especially if we don't actually know each other, just so we can kind of do a face-to-face kind of chat, talk about their personal goals. And then I send them the Team Rockstar Fit Coach Action Plan. And then we set up another Zoom and we'll kind of go over that. And then I'll put them like in the groups that they need to be in from what we go over.
I love using
what I've been doing.
Awesome. Okay. So you are both doing an excellent job of adding to your team, being super you, going all those things, getting people started right away is awesome. Now kind of that like last question for you, like how has this changed your life? This is like national wake up call level, people. Like you started, we've heard where you've been at, like how has this changed your life and where do you see yourself going in the future? Either one of you can start.
For me, it's changed, like, it's so cliche to say, but like, where has it not changed our lives? You know what I mean? So like, first and foremost, it changed like my own self-confidence level, and like I found my identity again. Like I found my purpose. It's also helped like our family, like financially. This past like couple of weeks have kind of been like crazy in our house. We had some plumbing issues, and then so we had to like break into our kitchen ceiling and then have the plumbers come out for 2 days and repair that. And then we need new windows because we live in an old farmhouse. And so not only did we order windows for one room, but we ordered windows for 2 rooms. And then on top of that, I was waiting until our windows got installed just in case we didn't run into any like problems as we're installing that would cause more expenses. But then I had been setting money aside so that I could purchase a new laptop for the business. And so then one day Dan came home with the exact laptop that I wanted and surprised me with it. And so like it's changed my self-confidence. It's changed like our financial situation, and not that we were like struggling before, but man, does it feel good to have like some breathing room and like to be able to make repairs on your house like without worrying. And it's like during quarantine when it's supposed to be like a stressful time of our lives, and when Dan had been laid off for 2 weeks also, it's a good feeling to be able to still be doing okay and then some. And then lastly, I don't know if a lot of people know, I know people who are close to me do, but like Dan's and I relationship, and like not the beginning of our relationship, but like I used to feel so insecure about me and who I was, and like problems in our relationship would maybe stem from that. And then as I started to grow into my own, then we just kind of had like a roles reverse thing. Like I became more confident in who I was. But now we're at a point where we're both confident, and like this is where our relationship thrives the most is right now. And so like he's even told me that Beachbody and me doing this is like a contributor to that. And so I don't know, it's changed like me as a person and my confidence, and like being able to carry that over into the classroom and like decision making. And then also like our financial, and then like our marriage. Not that our marriage was not on the rocks, because sometimes I'll post something and he'll be like, people are going to think we were going to get a divorce. And I'm like, no, like our marriage wasn't on the rocks, but it is like that much better. I don't know. It only just keeps getting better, and I can't see it going any other direction right now.
You're getting all so much love in the side, and I just am like melting over here like, oh yes, this is so awesome. It has been so much fun to watch your confidence grow and just your personality come out. And yes, you and Dan doing this together is so much fun to watch. And it's been awesome. And I'm so excited to see where your future goes. What is your bigger vision with coaching? Like, what do you see it's your future someday?
So the next time that we have Summit, I will be walking across stage, wherever that may be. But I know someday that I will be a full-time coach. And it's not really something I've ever spoken out loud, because in the past, I had always told myself, like, I don't really see myself leaving the classroom, but if my business ever grows, big enough and gets there, then I'll just cross that bridge when I get there. And like now looking back at it, I was saying that because I know that was the safe answer to say. And so now, like, sitting where we're at right now, it's only a matter of time, and like it has to make sense financially for our family, because I'm not going to go and put us all at risk. But I know at some point that I'm going to be a full-time coach someday.
And because your heart's in it and you love it and it just fills your cup, and it's been slow life-changing because you're really good at it.
And then like maybe after that, then Dan can come home and work the business with me, and then we can just be two full-time coaches working together. I mean, like, that would be a dream.
It's totally possible. Totally possible.
And like this, I haven't even told him that. So this is like, I mean,
this
it stays in here. What happens in the call stays in team call.
Awesome. All right, Hailey, how has your life been changed by being a part of this team and being part of this?
Well, how do I beat that? Geez. No. So first off, obviously my mental health, I needed it. I've always struggled with anxiety. Like I said, I don't know, like I thought I was going to have to live like that forever. And I've learned how to manage it. Obviously I make better choices, mentally, and, with nutrition, all that stuff helps. I feel like my confidence has grown, and I never thought I'd be talking on a call like this. So seriously, I've definitely grown, and that's what I love about everything about this. And I feel like I'm a better mom, a better wife. I communicate better with my husband. And yeah, even just like going to work, I just feel like even on those hard days, I'm like thinking of the positive things, and like just a total mind shift for me. So
awesome.
Yep.
Like what in your life hasn't changed, right?
I know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Freedom from all of the negativity and the panic attacks and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so where do you see yourself in the future? What's your vision?
I want to stay home with my kids. We want to pay off debt, and I would love to bring my hubby home too.
Well, okay, so these two ladies are absolutely amazing. You've heard a lot of really good nuggets from us tonight. I hope you took a lot of really good notes. But really where they come from is the great, amazing leadership from their coach, Miss Kara, who has been paving the way. And this Thursday, she will wake up as a 4-star coach, people. And it's going to be so amazing, and I'm so incredibly proud. I'm not going to talk about her too much because I'll start crying, but she's awesome as well. And it's just been so much fun to watch the two of you grow, especially under Kara's leadership. And just your whole Fit and Fearless just blows up constantly. And I love being in your team page because it's so electric. All right, ladies, thank you so much for sharing and everything tonight. Who has questions? We've got some time left. I think you guys have been answering questions on the side, if I saw correctly. Who's got questions?
So good, and I'm just so proud. What the actual heck is going on over here? And when there's questions, but Kara, do you want to say anything? You got anything?
No. I mean, I'm just so proud of these ladies. As you can tell, their stories, there are so many differences, but there are so many similarities too. And I think what makes me so proud is that it goes back to what Steph said, is that I recruit ladies that I can sit in a car with from Waterloo, Iowa to Indianapolis, and we can have the time of our lives. And like, those are the people that I want to do this with. they may be a self-care coach and they might start later. That's what Kim did. That's what I did. And I'm just so freaking proud of these women because they have busted down so many limiting beliefs. And their you guys can see their confidence like has just blossomed. And 4-star qual is very exciting on Thursday because it takes that team effort and it takes that momentum for everybody to be on board. But it's these individual strengths that I'm so proud of. Like Hailey can be Hailey, and I will forever use her story of she did the ultimate reset by herself with 3 kids at home while the hubby was like making, traveling. And then Steph had all the accolades of an amazing coach, did not start right away, and then gave herself permission to, after Summit, she gave herself permission 2 summers ago to be all in. And then every day she's been at home, she has gone all in. And she's still a kick-ass mom and wife. Like, it's just, you are limitless here. And there is a story, whatever story you have, there is somebody here that can show you how they did it. And so that's all I'll say. But I'm so grateful who I get to do this with and not just what I get to do.
Yeah, and that's it. Like, that is exactly it. And I'm really glad you hammered that down because I think it'd be really easy to be like, what am I lacking? What am I slacking? And it's just like, when you say they went all in with belief.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, it's not even like, I am doing all the things. No. Like, full belief of like what I'm doing. When Hailey was talking about, I send recipes and ask how they're doing and just talk to them, and without needing to invite them to a challenge group yet, right? And just connecting and then just planting those seeds and adding all that value is really powerful. And Kara, I'm just so proud of your leadership and just so proud of the way you do this. And that's just what our team is about. That's the foundation of when I got started, of like, I really care about who's a part of this tribe. I really do. I care about the energy. I care about the mindset. You don't need to be at any destination here. It's just you're on your way somewhere. Like, that's just what I want here. And it's just evident. And it's so cool that there's enough room. Like, if you're not believing that right now, it's you and not this. This business is not broken. It is not broken. This journey is not broken. It is something that you need to work on, figure it out, and share it along the way. Your mess is your message. Just don't let it be so clouded with the mess. It's part of your leverage. It's your grit. It builds the dream because you don't want to stay there. Don't stay there. You either can dig or you can be planted. I'm choosing to be planted and I'm choosing to go. And it is so fun being with all of you. This crew is amazing. And I'm sure Kim is like over the moon proud. Tell us about that.
Completely. Like, there's just no words to say. But what I absolutely love about this the most and is that it's the personal growth. It's the learning who you are and learning what you're made of and like who God made you to be. That makes me most excited about this. And when I invite someone to the team, it's not just fitness and nutrition. Like I originally started inviting people to, like, it's not weight loss. It's not a shake. It's not a workout program. It's this. It's listening to and finding out about and being a part of something so much bigger and so much deeper than doing a 6-week workout program. It's about the personal growth that you achieve and how you figure out who you are. And that's what I'm always so excited to talk about.
Yeah. And I just want to know, can I ride in the car? Like, can I go from Iowa to Indianapolis? Can I be a part of that? Because that's what you're inviting to. You're inviting to the car ride. You're inviting to the sisterhood. I play really good jams. I'm really fun on road trips. Like, come on, like, bring people to that, right? Super cool. Kim, I loved your questions so much, and your leadership is amazing. And Kara, what the heck? So good. Hailey and Steph, I see you. You're crushing it. It is so fun to watch you, and there's just enough room. No one owns the space. Whatever you want to do, and I'm talking to everybody on this call, whatever you want to do with it, it's yours. You've just got to make the decision.